do these questions make sense? Is the, are these criticisms valid or are they not valid? And just if people are putting forward their best cases, all you can do is look at those cases and evaluate. In the end, I just don't know how anybody, I look at it like, if you're going to have a belief, that means that you accept the claim as true. And and true is what aligns with reality. If you can't compare the claim to the reality, I don't know how you make an assessment or even a judgment that it's true. How do I assign it a value of true if I'm unable to look at the reality of it? So in other words, if I tell you there's a chair in the next room, and you go into the next room, you open the door, and you don't see a chair, then you would say that that was not a true statement, right? It was a false statement. If you go in there and you look and there is a chair in there, then you would say that you believe my claim, that you accept it as true, that there is a chair in there because you went in and you verified there's a chair in that room. But what if you can't get into the room? I mean, how do you assess my claim? And no matter how many arguments I put forward, how do you make an assessment of the truth of it when that door is locked and you can't look in the room? That's what I think bothers me the most, is the idea that it's all about these arguments and nobody wants to give you access to the chair. And it's like, well, why can't you have access to the chair? And if you can't have access to the chair, why are you so hot to convince me it's in there when you can't even get through that locked door? How are you so sure that it's there, right? And I think
definitely.
And so for me, there's all these arguments, and like Martin says, you can spend years looking at the arguments, looking at the but ultimately it's going to come down to a question of whether or not you're willing to believe arguments, to put your what you assign as true about reality into somebody's argument versus saying, unless you can validate this argument in some way, I'm simply going to remain on the fence. I am not going to assign it a value of true. I'm not going to say that what you're saying is true if we have no way to verify this. If it's just you think it makes sense, but you can't verify it, and I can't verify it, and nobody can verify it, it's an unknown.